GM everyone. So, depending on when you're watching this. So, for the next several modules, I'm going to be talking about storytelling, a little bit of building a personal brand, just everything in between. So, make sure you pay attention, have a note for this. Can be a journal, a jotter, a book, whatever you want to use, right? Um, For for the introductory part, we're going to be talking about mindset. So no matter what you're doing, I'm talking ghostwriting, content writing, trading, whatever it is, your academics, you need a certain type of mindset before you can do well in it. Whether you fail at something or you succeed at whatever you're doing, it's your mindset will determine that. Okay, your mindset will determine that because it will determine if you put in the right energy. It will determine if you believe it in yourself. If it will determine, it will just determine a lot of things, right? So mindset, my journey into Web3. So before now, I used to think Web3 is so hard. Tech, crypto, name it. I just don't want to be there. If it is not writing, just don't call my name because I just think, or I used to think these things are really hard and they're just not meant for me, right? So that was my perception. That was how I perceived everything about Web3, crypto, tech, and everything in between. But my mindset about it changed last year, that's 2024, I think around November, December, when I got a gig and it required me ghostwriting for Web3 brands. And I was like, okay. And then I also started working with Sir Casey Bibret, right, as an email copywriter. And I was like, okay. And then I attended, so I just had to do it, had to, the ghostwriting gig, I had to just start working on it and I did pretty well, right? And then I attended Rebirth 2.0 and I loved it. I loved it so much. I was like, okay, maybe he's not that hard. I just need to put in effort, to practice and all those things, right? So, how do you perceive yourself? How do you perceive that skill you are learning? Daniel Trussell, he tagged himself as the best copywriter. The first time I saw it, I was like, wait, what? I think in Australia, so in a particular country, tagged himself as the best copywriter. That is his own perception, right? That is what he believes in, and he carries himself as that. And when you meet him, you have no choice than to believe in what he believes in and call him what he calls himself, right? If I don't call myself stupid, there is no way you will call me that because sorry, excuse me, so it, the way you see yourself, the way you carry yourself, that is how the world we help you, right? That is what will happen as well, right? So if Daniel sees himself as the best in his niche, then how do you see yourself? Like, what do you think about yourself? If someone compliments your skill right now, what would be your response? You'll be like, oh, I just started learning. Oh, it's not all that. Oh, do you know people are like better than me? I know people are better than you, right? However, do you even do you even think you are doing something or you think you're just a nobody? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So if I compliment your skill, maybe your writing skill, your content marketing skill, are you going to embrace it wholeheartedly or you're just going to shrug it off and say, it's basic, Joe. It's just basic. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, what will your response be? Your response will determine what you think of yourself. Now, there are two types of mindset, two main types, right? The fixed mindset, which I also call the scarcity mindset, and the growth mindset, which I also call the abundance mindset. Just like the word fixed, fixed means when somebody or something stays in the same position or posture, when you refuse to move, when you are stagnant, when you stay in a position all the time, when your mindset it's just fixed. Like you think this, like the way I used to think about Web3 crypto and all of those, my mindset then was fixed because I just believe this is hard and that's it. I can do it and that's it. You know, the characteristics of a fixed mindset. So if if you check this list, if you check these boxes, then you have a fixed mindset. When you avoid challenges, you love everything soft. You love your comfort zone. You don't want to leave your comfort zone. If it's a little bit challenging, you don't want to be in it. They avoid challenges. They hate criticism and negative feedback. Oh my gosh, I used to love negative feedback at a point. Like when I give you something and all you have to say is like something positive, I'm like, nah, what you doing? What you doing? Like, tell me the loopholes, tell me how I can get better, right? So when you hate criticism, when you don't like nobody criticizing your work, when you don't like nobody, when you don't like no client saying, oh, this is not right, or this you need to adjust this way. When you don't like that, when you feel down, whenever that happens, you have a fixed mindset, okay? When you feel entitled, like you don't do nothing all day, you don't reach out to no client, you don't work on your skills, and then you think you should have all the money in the world. Now you feeling now you entitled. All right, you entitled right now, and that's just really bad. That's bad. Okay, when they feel threatened, anxious, jealous of other people's growth. So when you align, when you see people buying cars, buying their houses, getting their um their gadgets and all, and you're like, oh, and I'm sure this is fraud. Oh, well, why are they showing off? Oh, why are they doing this? Oh, that's oversharing. Oh, that's this. When you're feeling threatened by other people's growth, girl, you better work on your mindset. Like you better work on your mindset. When they stay away from anything new or unfamiliar. Imagine when I got my first gig, my first like ghostwriting gig that I had to write for Web3 brands. And I was like, nah, been, I've never written anything related to crypto or tech. So I'm not gonna do this. This is hard. I'm gonna run away. I'm going to turn this person down. That's a fixed mindset because when you have a, a, a great mindset, when you have a growth mindset, when you see anything new, you're like, oh, I can do it because I know I can learn it. Like when you believe that everything can be learned, that's when you have a growth mindset. But when you believe everything is hard and you don't want to learn, or no matter how much you learn, you're not gonna get nothing out of it, right? That's affect mindset. Okay, when you give up easily, mo- first month, second month, you started a skill and you're not really getting what you want, and then you give up. You're like, nah, this ain't for me, man. I'm done. I'm done. Let me just go back to what I used to do. That is a fixed mindset. Okay, I talked about this earlier. When you feel entitled, so let's talk about the growth mindset. From the word growth, it means something or someone who is constantly moving, that has refused to stay in a spot. Okay, characteristics of a growth mindset. So if you check these boxes, girl, you have a growth mindset. Okay, when they believe in abundance, when you believe that no matter what you want, you can get it, right? And you believe that if you want 10 clients this month, you can get it because you can get it, right? When you believe in abundance, when you believe that there are people, there are projects looking for your services, that's a growth mindset. When you do not hoard knowledge, right? Um, Let me explain what this is. When you learn something and you're like, oh, I don't want to tell nobody. It's like when I tell the person, what if the person starts teaching others, and then that means I don't have anything new. When you believe that what I learned today I can't teach nobody because I don't know if I learned something new tomorrow. When you that's just like really bad. I used to be like that. I used to be like, I'm like, I know this thing about storytelling, about story selling. I'm not gonna tell nobody, I'm just gonna use it for myself. But what happens is when you know something, when you have the knowledge about something and you don't tell other people and you don't share it with other people, then you don't then your mind is not open to learn new stuff. And that way you're gonna be stagnant, right? You're gonna have stunted growth. Okay. So do not hurt your knowledge. You know something, share it. You learned how to do something earlier today, share it, teach people. The more you teach, the more your mind is open and you will be able to learn your stuff, okay? When they choose collaboration over competition. So I know people say they're healthy competition and all that. We're not going into that right now. I'm talking about collaboration over competition now. Now let me explain that. Collaboration is saying, oh, I have a friend who is also a storyteller. So I am going to I'm going to work with my friend and we're going to set up a YouTube channel or we're going to set up a webinar and we're going to teach people about storytelling, about story selling, about building a personal brand, right? That is collaboration. That is, I know somebody who is as good as I am, always better than me in my niche, in my industry, and I'm going to, work with them over competition, competing. Oh, he's in the same niche like me, but I want to be greater than him. I want people to know me more than they know him. Okay. Because sometimes, or a lot of times, right, when you collaborate with others, whether in your niche or in another niche, it makes things easier. It opens doors of opportunities for you. Trust me. It makes you enter rooms that you've only dreamt of entering. Okay. So, as a storyteller or a story seller, things do not happen by chance or luck. You need to be intentional and put in the work, which means you have to read a lot, you have to write a lot, you have to seek feedback. It's an old skill on its own, and there is a lot of work to do. Okay, don't write storytelling content for a couple of days and give up afterwards. Like, oh my gosh, I don't think the story makes sense. Oh my gosh, I think this post is not all that, so I'm gonna stop. I'm just going to go back to how I used to write my content, how I used to write my post. That's the problem. That's the problem. When you do it for a week or a month and you're like, I'm done, I'm not doing this no more. This is too hard. This is crazy. Why there's so many rules? That's a problem, okay? That's a problem. Also, you have to understand that this is a journey with no specific definite destination. So this is not like, oh, when I get to ABC, I'm gonna stop now. You're not stopping at all. Like no matter what you know, there is always more to know. Like no matter what you know now, like the amount of things you learn from this module to the end, there is still more. Okay. So scarcity versus abundance. Scarcity is when you believe we have few things, when you think there are just few projects. So um and these few projects, the top ones, they've they're already working with this project, so there is nothing for you. That's scarcity. When you believe in few things, like just scarcity, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Abundance, when you believe in a lot. Infinity, like it's a lot, like a whole lot. For example, when you believe that you can have as many clients that you want, that you even turn down others. Mm-hmm. Yeah, an abundance mindset will make you turn down a job that is below your level. This is what I'm trying to say. Let's say for a writing gig, you would normally charge $2,000, and this project is coming with a budget of $200. You're like, nah, I can't do that. So abundance mindset say I can do that because I know there are projects out there, there are clients out there that can pay me a minimum of $2,000, right? That's abundance. That's That's a growth mindset. So scarcity mindset is where you think your resources are limited, so it can finish anytime soon. You believe that clients are limited, and you believe the stories can finish. I used to be like that as well. I used to think, what if I tell this story today, then I will have no story to tell tomorrow? But here is the truth. As long as you wake up every single day, you have a story to tell. Trust me, there are story worthy moments in your everyday life, okay? So abundance is, yeah, we talked about abundance, we talked about scarcity. So what kind of mindset do you have based on what I just spoke about today? What kind of mindset do you have? Note that down. So I'll see you in the next one. I hope you learned a lot and you had so much fun. The way I had so much fun recording this for you. Bye.